Hey everyone, this is Christopher Terry, CEO of IMARKETSLIVE, and I want to show you something that you can actually implement right away with your trading and be able to identify key little turning points in the market, or at least help identify where the market may stop, where you can enter safely. And it's something I've been using for many years, and it's very simple, but a lot of people don't understand it. It's overlooked, and I'm just sitting here on a Thursday night and thought I'd share with you some thoughts. What I like to look at, let me just get this where it's stay in drawing mode. A couple things. When I look at the market goes up, market comes back, market goes up, market comes down. Okay? So a couple things. This line right here and this line right here, a lot of the times are equal. Same as market doing something like this. Okay, you may find these little levels are in equal shape, okay, length. What I like to do, all right, is I always look at past swings, and okay, let me just undo this here. I like to look at past swings in the market. Let me just erase all drawing mode, okay, all drawing tools, and I like to see how they relate going forward. So let's just take swing by swing and just do a little bit of testing, and I'll show you what I mean. Something you can literally take from this video and apply it to your own work. All right, so right here, market comes down, all right, finishes up, goes up, and now you have your first pullback, okay? The market does make another pullback. You see this? A lot of times, and we can do this, I'm not sure if I can clone it right there, clone it. All right, and you can see how pretty much identical the move would be. If we were to clone this again, all right, if we were to clone this again, okay, it would be an obvious that if the market hit this particular area right there, that we can have a possible entry area. Now, what I like to do also is I like to add Fibonacci ratios and other things. I'll do a quick show you how to do that. I like to throw some Fibonacci in there. So this tells me that the market can come down, all right, at least to the prior length of what we see here. And in that area, you have a little Fibonacci retracement. There's multiple ways to look at it. I'll throw multiple Fibonacci ratios into it, as you see here, and we start to overlap. The longer one has a 38% retracement, the shorter one is a 50%, and the price retracements from the past going forward all tie into the same number. So it's safe to say if the market gets to 1.071 that there is possibly an area of support where the market would be a safe buy, and of course you put your risk underneath. So what I like to do is I like to look at price relationships, A to B, C to D, right? A to B, C to D. So I like looking at how the market has done in the past on where it can set up in the future going forward. So all I'm looking at is the length of this, going forward for the length of that, going forward for the next length, and of course adding Fibonacci levels also helps. All right, so let me just erase all drawing tools here. Okay, I thought I'd share something of value with you guys, because why not? Let's just get something nice. Okay, so let's take a look. So right here, the market had a nice little retracement up off the high, and let's just clone that. Okay, let's just clone and see. Well, if I could clone it. All right, let's clone that. All right, you see how price relates to prior swings? You see that? Now, what's interesting right here, if we hit a point where the market right there exceeds this, right? It exceeds that area. Let me just right here. So if price exceeds this, this is called an overbalance. That means that has failed. That trend has failed. Okay, price is the same, and boom, it's not the same, and it fails to the upside, which shifts the energy away from it. Okay, so one good thing is I like to look at that. So overbalancing, meaning that if the past prices were 10 points and 10 points, and this exceeds 10 points and continues, that's an overbalance, and a lot of times it's more powerful in the opposite direction. And that's also telling you that the trend has stopped trading. So when we look at going forward, maybe this right here, we see the market had a low, market had a high, and then you had a retracement. Okay, so you had a nice retracement here, and depending on the noise, so I would look at like this, and also I would respect this part also. Okay, a lot of times you get that, but the reality is a lot of that sometimes just noise, and that's proper trading right there. So if we were to clone this, all right, and I take that, and the next time it occurs, look what happens. Okay, so you have an actual area right here, and let's just take this to this. Okay, so you see how right there to here, giving you little tricks of the trade, guys and girls. So the smaller move was right here. We see that this identically clones it, but let's just remove that. Okay, let's just say no, that's not good. So let's just remove that. Who cares? The fact is you have a large enough move, identical swing. You see that? All right. And then, of course, you could throw your Fibonacci in there, right? You throw some Fibonacci in there, and you come in right at that 50%. And, of course, I'm sure from the bottom up it's going to relate, right? 38%. Of course, it always is. All right. It's great to see stuff after the fact, isn't it? So right here, you get to see how I look at it. If you don't understand it, just redo the video, and you'll see how I like to line things up. Market low, market higher low, market high, and then draw these lines in there, and it helps you identify areas to watch. And when price gets there, then you work it out. What I don't like, all right, what I don't like is when I see this. People expect it to go here, they draw here, they draw it here, they draw there, they draw there. They expect it to do all these crazy things. All I like to do is, where is the next swing? Where is the next swing in the market? Where is it going to stop going? All right. So here would be that end swing. Let me just delete this. Let me just eliminate all drawing tools, right? Let's just already remove all drawing tools. So you see so far what I'm trying to get at is I look at prior swings in the market, and I look at relationships on where to time it, and then I look at Fibonacci levels, swing low to swing high, swing low to swing high, and that helps identify turning points in the market. Okay, so I'm not sure what this is here. Let's just see if you had any kind of relationship here, or quite honestly right there, because you could just see there was pretty much a big spike. So if we were to clone that, all right, not so bad, right? If you think about it, not so bad. Let's just take another look here. Interesting, right? So a lot of times when you see these areas, right, what I like to do is this whole area right there, because the truth is that was really a solid high, and then you had that spike, right? So I like to take that, and I'll show you. All right. Okay. So you see how if we took this length and this length and we apply it here, you see how when the market retraced, roughly it came in around the same. All right, and then of course you have your Fibonacci tool, which gives you that resistance also. So lots of little tricks to the trade that I have used over the many years, stuff that's so simple that you can actually apply to your work right away. If you're looking for, maybe sometimes you look at the market and you're like, wow, if I only, I got stopped out and the market went my way. Of course, you have to understand little turning points in the market and how to relate to them, where they should stop, where they should not stop, where they can continue to go to. So here, this is obviously a spike in the market. You don't want to get involved in stuff like that. But if we look at reality, in terms of what the true price action is and not these crazy spikes, look at the past and you can see how prices like to relate to one another. Okay? Prices love to relate to one another. When you understand that, the battle is 95% done. So when I look at a market like this, a lot of times I'll just take, I'll do something like this. I'll do something else also like this. And then I take that length and I go right here like that. All right. So here, okay, parallel line right there, and you can see how it comes in. I also then go low to high. So I like to also look at the market in this dynamic also, where you have multiple levels of commonality coming together, where you have this length duplicated here plus a Fibonacci from low to high. I also look at zones. I would have looked at here. I look at here. Mostly from the 786 down to the 100% zone, really more of a sweet spot. That excess, after it fails maybe a 618, that excess that comes down 786, 886, 100% of the zone, really that becomes a real important area. All right, when you're looking at price relationships, you want to get as much to zero as 100% as possible. Then you pull in your Fibonacci from other locations, and like this right here down. You got to excuse me for some of the terminology I use. I'm just trying to express to you some ideas while we're just sitting here looking at some charts. So let's take a look. Okay, you look at the market, it sells off, right? Okay, and then the next move up. So let's clone this. Right, where is the next move? The market sells off. Okay, does it even make it? Not really. Does it make it? Not really. Does it make it? Yes, 100%. Okay, you understand? And you can also look at this as little Fibonacci, Elliott waves. I'm not going to get into that. Just the price action. Just the price action alone on how this actually relates. All right, right there. Okay, so obviously it didn't hit. I'm sure if we put a 0.23 right there like that, yay, magical, it works. So it's not going to work every single time, and you got to have that kind of patience to understand it. But when you're looking at the market in terms of price relationship, that's what I do. I've been doing this for a very, very long time, and honestly, it works very well. So here, all right, I would then check it against the next move down. Okay, so you see how that almost comes in with a little bit of 100% right there. So let's take a look here. And this, literally almost identical length, okay? Almost identical length. It's off a little bit, but you get the point. And you throw some Fibonacci. You see how everything can come into play together. All right? So something to play with, something to look at. You can look at any market, any time frame, and price relationships have been a lot of my bread and butter over the years. You know, you see this right here. Market bounces up. You know, market bounces up. You know, let's clone that. All right, let's just see. Let's just see. Okay. And I don't know what I just did with that one. Okay, just disappeared on me. Anyway, I hope this little video tutorial has given you some insight on maybe a trick or two that you never used before, or maybe you do use them. So just to refresh, market pulls back, goes up, pulls back. Okay, you're looking at, oops. All right, and then you're looking at the Fibonacci between here and here, and also a Fibonacci between its other points. And you try to match everything up. The price relationships and also your Fibonacci levels from the prior swings, and you see where you can get yourself a nice area of commonality to work with, and you'll be surprised much of the time, at least 70% of the time. Don't quote me on exact percentages. The fact is, a high percentage of the time, you're going to find key turning points in the market that you can at least grab 10 pips, 20 pips, 30 pips out of the market and feel safe about it and not have to worry about, are you getting stopped out, or worrying, did you go in too early or go in too late? All right, so something to think about. Glad you spent the last 15 minutes with me. My name is Christopher Terry, CEO of iMarkets Live, and have yourself a great trading day and a great weekend.